to keep it to 30 minutes, so I'm going to keep things rolling. I want to look at the kind of the past, present, and future of our school. Many of you maybe know this already, maybe some don't. Our school started in 2000 with only one teacher, and it actually was down the hallway over here in the fellowship hall. 2004 was actually when the school building was built. In the last 4 or 5 years, we've been in the mid-50s enrollment-wise. But this year, we're very blessed to have 67 students, and that's wonderful. We're very thankful for that. For all of you that are here, and for those that weren't able to be here, we'll hopefully see them on Monday for our second orientation. For the future, looking ahead, those families that are returning with us, you maybe know about our plans for building. In the summer of 2018, so after this school year, basically the day after school's out, we're planning to start work on 2 new classrooms, some other building enhancements along with that, and redoing the parking lot for better safety and more room out there for maneuvering around. So there's a lot of exciting things. We're very thankful for our blessings in the past and looking forward to what God has in store for the future. But no matter what happens as far as growth goes for our school, that's not going to change who we are. We're going to stay the same with our mission to assist families by providing an excellent education in a safe Christian environment. Our vision of families growing spiritually as they're connected with God's Word. Of course, educational growth of our students as they prepare for higher levels of education, and growth in church membership, school enrollment, continuance of quality Christian education. On the church side of things, we know that many of you have your own churches, and we're not here to steal you away from those churches by any means. We're thankful that you do. Just know that if there's any way that we can serve your family spiritually, we are more than happy to do that. Pastor Van does a Bible information class that'll be starting in a couple weeks, and we'd be happy to have any one of you there. Just briefly, the annual enrollment process, we're wrapping this up today with the orientation meeting. We'll have some more reminders over at the school about different steps related to that. All right, communication is very important. In order for us to give your child the best possible education we can, there are many different ways we try to communicate with you. So we have a school website, which hopefully my link will work, so you can see what the website looks like. This is actually NorthdaleLutheran.org, which is our main church page. And then if you navigate to the school page, it looks a little bit different. We're going to be updating our church template as well. But on this page, we have, you can see there different links, calendar, newsletter, contact information. Probably what you guys would value the most, if you go to the Parent Resources tab, and then the Documents page. We post a lot of different information on there. So you've got calendars, handbooks, all sorts of things. Basically anything that is over in the school tonight is also up here on this website. So please make use of that. It's very, very good. Okay, then also our Facebook page. If you haven't already, please follow us or like us on Facebook. This is basically our photo gallery that we use for our school. We try to post photos and different announcements on there. You're certainly welcome to leave a review as well. So we've got mostly devotions from this summer, but you can see our cleanup day and all sorts of good stuff. That's our Facebook page. Okay. Email address is very important. We try to do our best to communicate in as many different ways as we can. Ultimately, we can't do, tailor our approach to everybody. Just know that we will use email probably as the primary form of communication. So it's really important to have an email address that you check regularly for school things. Contact information. It's really important that we have the right information for you. And where we get that from typically is from tags. As you go through enrollment and admissions, that's where we gather that contact information from. So that would be where you would want to update it. Certainly you can let us know as teachers, but try to make sure it's updated on tags as well. Every week on Sunday afternoon or evening, we'll send out our weekly school newsletter by email, and that will also include classroom information from your child's teacher. Then on Monday, we call them Monday folders. We'll send home a hard copy of that same email along with all of the graded papers and any other notes that there might be for that week. And we also make use of text messaging. We just kind of got started last year with the mass text messaging system, and we're looking at a new one for this year, basically the same approach, and we'll send out some more information about that Monday in your Monday folder. Okay, drop off and pick up. The main thing here is just safety. When we have kids on campus, that's our number one priority, is that we're keeping everybody safe. So we have a drop off and pick up procedure. Hopefully you can see that all right. An overview of the parking lot. So here's the entrance way down here. You'll pull in, come all the way around. The circle driveway is right here, so normally you can pull around through that and then work your way back this way. That's the general flow of traffic. In the morning, since we have kindergartners getting dropped off for this kindergarten classroom, they will probably, the kindergarten parents will be pulling in here. So it's certainly fine for other parents if you're not dropping off over here, just to kind of loop around right there. That's totally fine. If you would like to park and then walk your child in, or at the end of the day, park and walk in to talk to your child's teacher or whatever the case may be, we ask that you do not park right here in the area kind of closest to the church. I believe that would be out this way. Just for the fact that then you might have to back out and work your way across traffic. It's just a little bit more dangerous that way. So parking anywhere on this north side of the lot, that's okay. There are also parking spaces right here, but we keep those open just so that there's more room for 2 lanes of traffic. Okay, so this is the primary parking area right there. We will also have traffic cones out there just to help keep the flow of traffic going the way it needs to be. So we just ask for your patience. Those first couple days of school, as we're learning whose car is whose, that pickup time will take a little bit longer, but please just be patient and we'll speed it up as we get more familiar. All right. Okay, some important updates and goals for the school year. Everybody knows that attendance at school is very important. It's very obvious. It's one of the main reasons that can help kids be successful at school. Unfortunately, we've had some trouble with a lot of tardies in the past and a lot of absences. So one of our main goals for this year is to really improve attendance overall. With tardies, school starts at 8 o'clock. We understand that some days there's a lot of traffic or there's an accident, but hopefully we can do our best to plan ahead and just make sure that everybody's here on time. That can be difficult sometimes, but please just do your best with that. We won't have any consequence for a tardy until there's 5 tardies in a quarter. At that point, we would be getting in touch with the family and talking about the next steps with that. So it goes in 5 tardy increments. Absences, we are no longer kind of messing around with excused or unexcused for absences, because in reality, any absence is kind of detrimental to the education of the child. It doesn't really matter if it's excused or unexcused. We are also going to be working with half-day absences. It's basically, we've had situations where kids are getting to school after 8:30, 9 o'clock, and we've just called that tardy in the past. If a child arrives after 8:30, that's going to be considered a half-day absence. The number of total absences is also important, and for this we're taking some guidance from the Hillsborough County Schools. 10% of the school year would be 17 days, and if a child is absent more than 17 days, the policy is to review whether or not that child is ready for promotion to the next grade level. So I hope and pray that none of these, we don't get into any of these situations, because that's obviously not what we would want to have. But just so you know, all of these policies are intended to promote the learning of the students. And we want to put those in place so we can have the best school year we can. If you have any more questions about that, you're certainly welcome to talk to me about it. And it's also all written out in our parent handbook. We have that online, and we have copies in the school as well. Another goal for this school year is to really have a thriving volunteer community. We'll talk more about that on an upcoming slide. Parent-teacher conferences are an important part of our school year. In the past, we've done those after the first quarter and optional after the third quarter. We are moving that to the midterm of the first quarter and the midterm of the third quarter. That allows us to, kind of make some changes if necessary before the report card is finalized. That way we can talk, see how things are going, and work with what's going on. Those conferences are really important. We hope that you value them as well. We do expect that at least one parent from every family will participate in those parent-teacher conferences. With the dress code, just a few updates here. The Navy, we are now allowing navy blue khaki-style bottoms. That does not include jeans, obviously, but I guess something like the pants that I'm wearing, something like that would be acceptable. Just, the same type of material as the regular khaki-style bottoms. Navy blue is fine. What we are not allowing is the yoga-style or sweatpants-style bottoms. We've seen those in the past that they still have the same khaki color, but we're not allowing those. Before school care, this is a program that we just started last year. It goes from 7 to 7:30, and instead of charging by the minute for that program, it's just going to be a $3 fee if you make use of it any particular day. Okay, a little bit more on the positive side of things. We are going to be implementing some awards and recognitions this school year. The first one is a quarterly honor roll. So that is very familiar to, or probably many of you are familiar with different honor roll systems like that. So we'll have regular honors, high honors, and highest honors quarterly. We'll have quarterly perfect attendance awards, recognizing those students that are able to be in school every day. We'll have a merit award. Not all students are able to get, on the honor roll, but we'll also recognize those who improve over the course of the school year. So, for example, maybe a student has a C average or something in the first quarter, but then second quarter they get up to a B average. That certainly deserves recognition as well, because they're working really hard. So that would be a merit award. And then at the end of the year, we are going to have citizenship awards. Those would be for students who demonstrate academic achievement, extracurricular participation, and an overall positive Christian attitude. And those will be selected by the faculty. Tutoring. Sometimes tutoring is something that parents are seeking, and we're happy to help facilitate that. In some cases, our teachers may be able to provide tutoring, but we also recognize that our teachers' time after school is very valuable, and any time that they would spend tutoring does take away or add to the amount of preparation and work that they have. So we are going to charge a $40 an hour fee for tutoring with our teachers. That does not include things like, okay, a student missed school and needs to stay after to do a test or something like that. That would not be included. The $40 fee would be, you're meeting every week or something like that to have the tutoring with the teacher. Student singing performances are scheduled every month. And once again, we do recognize that everyone has their own churches. That is totally fine. We invite you to come for these singing performances here at our church. If it doesn't work for you to come, we simply ask that you excuse that absence with us. So let's say next Sunday there is a singing in church date. That Monday in the folder, prior to that, we would send home just a little response form, and you could just indicate on there whether or not you're planning to be there for the singing date. Excuse me. Then we'll turn it over to Mr. Herring for a moment on the athletics. Microphone.
I'll just speak loudly. So, good thing is we're up in our student enrollment. Bad news is that makes really large teams for us. So one thing, it's always been 5th through 8th grade, usually is on the main sports teams. This is something we're going to be working through new this year. And I can't promise 5th graders would get as much playing time, but we can ensure that they're going to be more like a practice team, practice crew, and we'll try to get them to a few games here or there. Again, it all depends on how many players will sign up and play, but if we have 18 kids wanting to play football, it's not going to be fun for anyone when each kid only gets 2 or 3 minutes because we have to get everybody in. But I do try to get everybody some way involved in sports, all the way from kindergarten all the way through 8th grade. Last year we, for the first time, participated in a Pee Wee soccer tournament, so that's kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd graders. That'll be in March. That is, and then 3rd and 4th and on up can participate in our annual track meet. After that we have 3 main seasons. We have flag football, which we will start right away. If you are interested in finding more about it, I have a players meeting this Thursday. All the players are required to be there if they want to play. Parents are not, but you're welcome to come to it. After that, we will have basketball, which is in the winter months, December and January, followed by soccer. One thing I am looking for is I'm probably going to need assistant coaches this year. During soccer season, it means I have the upper grades, the 5th or 8th grade soccer, plus I have Pee Wee soccer and track. I have coached all 3 of those the past few years. I'm just looking. Speak to me if you're willing to help me out with coaching any of those this year. I am usually pretty done by the end of March. So I'm willing to coach, but I don't. If someone would be willing to help step up, like Pee Wee coaching or the soccer coach, that's a few practices plus just a 1-day tournament. That would help me out a lot as well. So just want to point out that, again, 5th grade is new. We're still working through the amount of players. We can't guarantee a whole lot of playing time for 5th graders, but at the same time, we wanted to get everybody involved in sports in some way, all the way from kindergarten through 8th grade.
All right. Coming to the end here, thank you for your attention. want to talk a little bit about the role that you can play, just a little more specifically at NLS. What we want to do is to build a positive and distinctively Christian school culture, spiritual growth, academic excellence, and caring for one another. And that starts with the little things that we do, from the way that we talk, the type of language that we use, to the way that we treat one another. All of that stuff matters, and it goes a long way into building that positive school culture. So as parents, you can start by setting that example at home. Certainly by speaking positively about your child's teacher, the way that you treat people in your family, and the way that you talk at home makes a big difference, obviously, as well. Volunteering. We really want to have a thriving volunteer community at school. This is one of my big goals for this year. I've been guilty in the past of getting the parent volunteer inventory form and just kind of filing it away, and I never do anything with it. Well, I want to really do better with that and make use of the skills and interests that parents have to help make our school better. Along with that, we do, for the volunteers' safety and for the safety of our students, we have a program called Protect My Ministry. That basically involves a background check form and a child safety training course. We're asking that if you have not done that within the last 3 years, that you would redo that again. Okay, so any new parent looking to volunteer, you would need to go through that. For any returning parents that have done it within the last 3 years, you won't have to go through it again. Our parent-teacher team. Every year we try to get started with this with quarterly meetings, and sometimes it works well, other times not so much. But we'll let you know about opportunities as parents to come and meet. Just a chance for you to have input on our school goals, planning for events, parent and community involvement, and also fundraising opportunities. And then just letting you know about fundraisers we have going on. Box tops for education, you can always cut and send those in. We have a program called Script, which is basically purchasing gift cards. Basically, you trade your cash or check or however you want to pay for a gift card that you would then use to shop at your favorite stores. It's the same value as what you're giving to us, except that we get a percentage of income from that. And we'll have those, we have some inventory on hand, so you can purchase those over in the school afterwards. We also do order every month, so you can work through that either way you want to. My wife, Jessie Thiesfeld, is there in the back now, and she's kind of our Script gift card coordinator. So if you have any questions afterwards, she'll be taking care of that. And the last thing here, every quarter we have a restaurant spirit night. So those aren't scheduled yet, but we'll have those for you to participate in, and possibly a couple others along the way. A few more goals for this year. Teacher continuing education is always a goal of ours, so every month we meet as a faculty and we work through some continuing education topics. I actually just recently finished my 12th course in a master's degree program, so I'm done taking classes now, which I'm very thankful about. I just have to take a test in sometime this fall, and then I'll be all done with the program, and hopefully they'll let me have my master's degree. I know that our other teachers are also always involved with different professional development things, because we want to do our best educating your children. We always are working to develop our curriculum so that we know we're using the best methods and working well as we can. Basically a culture of continuous growth and improvement. I'm going to work hard. Another goal of mine this year is supervision of instruction. So if your child comes home one day and says, Mr. Thiesfeld was just walking around the back of the classroom for a little while, I don't know what he was doing, I'm not snooping around or anything like that. I'm just there. One of my roles is to make sure that our instruction in the school is as good as it can be. So I'm there helping the teachers. And then finally, continuing to expand technology integration in a balanced way. We definitely believe in doing that in a balanced way, as it says. Not doing everything with technology all the time, but certainly letting the kids know that it's a healthy tool that can be used. All right, giving thanks. Many reasons to be thankful for entrusting your children to our care, for your communication, involvement, and support, your commitment to our school, for sharing with others what being part of our school means to you, and for all of God's blessings to us at NLS. So with that, I would open it up to any general questions. You're certainly welcome to ask me questions after this meeting as well. So just right now, maybe I've gone too fast anywhere. If there's any questions, we can take those. Yeah.
What about the medical stuff? Is there, for sports, is there a physical required, that sort of thing? Or which grades need doctor's appointments and things to get back in?
Kindergarten and 7th grade are the two where a required updated physical form are needed.
Nothing for sports?
We don't have a sports physical requirement. Kind of along that same note, though, there are medication administration forms for any kids that would need to take any medication at school. We have those over in the school as well. Okay? Yes?
You mentioned the fee for schools changing. What about for after?
After school care will stay the same as it has been. It's basically $6 an hour. We charge that by the minute, though, so that you're only paying for what you actually use. Okay. Another question?
What did you just mention? Field trip driving also falls under that video thing. So the sooner you get that taken care of, we'll try to give you a much advance notice before field trips, but drivers are super important.
Yes.
Super helpful.
As teachers, we love having field trips. Sometimes we don't feel that we can schedule as many as we would even like to because we've had trouble in the past with just getting parent drivers. So if we have more parents that, you check that off on your volunteer form that you're interested and willing to drive for field trips, that lets us know that we have you guys available and we can plan more of those. All right.
And I think what Andy was saying too is Protect My Ministry is part of that as well. If
Yes.
you're going to be a driver for those, you need to do the Protect My Ministry as well. So
Yes.
we prefer that you do that as soon as possible, so then if you can be a driver, you're not trying to do that last minute.
Yes. And just so you know, this is Brian Bush. He's our school board chairman. Yes.
If you're talking about like a background check and everything, if we just as recently, like I'm on the Florida Disaster Relief Team, and do you guys go through the background of like the police background and stuff like that? Like if we already had a background just recently, is that something you turned in, or?
It could be. If you have that handy, you could turn that in to me. That would be fine. Yeah. There's no cost, if you're concerned about that for the background check, there's no cost to the parents for that. Okay, good questions. All right, so with the piano lessons, Miss Margraf mentioned that she does teach piano lessons after school. And so if you're interested in learning more about that, Miss Margraf will be here in her classroom after the meeting as well. Otherwise, that pretty much wraps it up here today. There is a sign-in form. If you have not signed that yet, there's a clipboard back there. Mrs. Van is holding it, just so that we can acknowledge your attendance today. And then in the back, I will also have a very nicely drawn map of their school and different stations that are over there. So we'll be passing that out in the back as well. So thank you again for coming. I know I took 8 extra minutes, so please excuse that. We'll head over to the school. Thank you.